Hello everyone. I'm going to try not to botch the title of this one. It's a Cuban inspired sausage skillet in a baking sheet pan. Welcome to the Lazy Kitchen. Glad I made it past the introduction. This is a space for people who don't really know how to cook, don't like to cook, don't have time and energy to cook, but they still want to make a healthy and affordable meal that's an all-in-one. And so hopefully this is going to be a resource for those of you who are looking for just that. So let's talk about very quickly the rules of the kitchen. Lazy is everyone's favorite rule. That means 10-minute prep or less, little or no cleanup. We take some pretty simple hacks that don't decrease the nutritional value. The thrifty rule is basically we try to be as affordable as we can without sacrificing excessive nutritional value. Getting really important these days with the current food prices rising and trying to feed a family on a budget. The healthy recipe is one that's very important to me as a healthcare provider, and we're going to define that as an all-in-one meal that has your protein, healthy starch. Incidentally, I have celiac, so everything's gluten-free, so for those of you who need that. And then at least 2 vegetables. That's really where we lose a lot of people. You know, when you try to make all-in-one dish, usually we don't put the vegetables in it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what you'll need today, and it's pretty simple. So really all you're going to need is a good baking sheet pan. It could be either glass, it could be porcelain, whatever you have on hand, and you want to have it in a decent size so we'll be tossing the things right in it, so there's one less dish to clean at the end. And that's pretty much it in terms of utensils and accessories that we need. Let's talk about the ingredients. So for the protein, I'm going to use some little breakfast links. Protein, especially meat protein, is where you're going to want to be careful for the quality price ratio. Get the best thing you can find. Organic's great, pasture range even better. But sausage is actually pretty forgiving to the budget. So these came from a pork we had butchered, but I've seen something very similar in the store. And really good quality breakfast link. A package was maybe like $4 or $5. This is a big one. I may not use all of it. Somewhere between the starch and the protein, we're going to add 2 things. So the Cuban inspired are going to be the black beans. You get the best black beans you can find. Organic is great. I don't think they had those at the store when I was grocery shopping. But these are just basically bean, water, salt. And it's maybe like $1.80. So we'll just rinse and drain that. We're going to use sweet potatoes. These came from the frozen food section. Nothing but sweet potatoes, so it's very healthy and very simple. And a bag of these was like $1.39, so very affordable as well. One little detail, you can get those pre-cut fresh, and that works as well. The frozen ones cook a little bit faster than the fresh ones, so you can adjust your cooking time accordingly. Let's talk about the vegetables. I often will use pre-cut frozen onions. It's easy to have them in the freezer and use whatever you need out of there. These happen to have a little more stuff like celery flakes and parsley flakes with it. Doesn't matter for the taste so much. About $1.20. I'm going to use half of it, 60 cents worth. We're going to use a box of pre-cut mushrooms. They were $2. And our flagship vegetable today is going to be broccoli. You can buy really good quality pre-cut broccoli, so you can just toss that right in the skillet. And broccoli is nice when you bake it in the oven. It doesn't get soggy, so about around 30 minutes or so. Awesome. And then spices, pretty simple today. One of the things that the Caribbean and Cuban recipe uses a lot is cumin. This is my container of cumin. You can buy it in any store, so we're going to be pretty generous. I'm going to use plain salt. And the last ingredient is kind of the fun play ingredient. Totally not needed, but if you want to add a little bit of spice and heat, I'm going to use some of my sliced jalapenos. and those, you know, you can get them for a few bucks at the store. And if you really like the spice, you want to take a little bit of the brine from the jalapeno and mix it in there. Last thing we're going to need is a little bit of oil. I think I'm just going to stick with olive oil. You can use avocado oil as well. Okay, so let's get the accountability clock starting. And basically we're going to put everything in here, but the sausage is going to be on top and last. Those of you who've seen me work before know that we like to drain the excess water from the frozen vegetables so things, oops, don't get too soggy. And this guy is draining from multiple orifices today. Okay, and you know, you can put maybe like half a bag of the onions and the goodies. Okay, there's one. I'm gonna throw in the mushrooms. I'm gonna throw in the broccoli. If you can get them organic, that's even better. They didn't have those when I was at the store. And very good. Oops. Sweet potatoes. Those can get a little soggy, so remember to see. Not bad. Ta-da. The beans, I'm gonna escape from view for a second. I am going to drain them. They tend to be pretty juicy, so. These days, I think more and more people appreciate stretching out their meat protein with some vegetarian protein for many reasons, health being one, but cost being the other one. I'm going to use the salt. I'm going to add my cumin. I like cumin a lot. And you can experiment with the spices if there's something you really like in your southern cuisine. Pickles. Don't go too crazy, but I'm gonna do a tiny bit of brine for the flavor. And so this is the part where you're going to add a little bit of oil as well, and you want to be, well, maybe more than a little. You want to be generous so that the oil gets to the bottom of the pan and things don't stick too much. And so we're gonna make, without spilling too much, I'm going to try to mix those. Whoops. That's smelling. The cumin makes it smell so good. Good. All right. So somehow my broccoli likes to escape. I guess, you know, if you have clean hands, it's probably just as fast and maybe easier to do it with your hands. Good. Okay. And last, we're going to put our little breakfast drink on it. And one thing that I recommend you do, if you want to get the yummy flavor of your links, and these can be any meat, I mean, any animal. Like if you prefer something like chicken, you can definitely do it with chicken. You know, these are pork. If you have, for those of you who hunt, if you have venison links, you can do that. So that's whatever your choice is. But whatever you do, my recommendation is that you give them a little bit of fork pricking to release the juices. And since they will be on top, they will be releasing the juice onto the contents below. Hopefully you can watch me do that, and I'm not gonna poke my finger on camera. That would be embarrassing, and then nobody would want to eat my food. Nobody likes bloody skillets. Okay, there we go. And let's see, well, I think I'll use a couple more. We got a busy week coming, and I will not have time to cook anymore. So, very good. You can, I recommend that you probably foil it up for the first maybe 20 minutes. So this is going to take around 30 to 40 minutes to cook in your oven. Every oven cooks differently. Mine is a gas oven. Electric ovens take a little longer to cook. So somewhere in there, just check it. You want the broccoli to be tender, but you know, not soggy. You want your meat to be cooked, obviously. The rest of the ingredients are going to cook a little bit earlier than the broccoli, so they should be fine. And it's ready to serve, so it's definitely something you can do when you come home. If you have about 30-40 minutes before you have to eat, you can go put on your comfy pants and relax while your food is cooking. So I'm going to turn on the oven to 350, and I'm going to pop those in, and dinner will be ready in less than an hour. Enjoy.